everybody! I had a great comment on YouTube on my video about clairvoyance tips. See beyond black in your third eye. Okay, I'm going to read the comment and I'm going to share some advice. Comment is, I can make believe all day in my head and see things, but it doesn't do me any good when I try to do psychic things. I'm not getting messages from spirit guides or other spirits when I ask. So do I not understand how this helps the actual act of trying to get the message from spirit that aren't coming into me? I ask a question and await an answer, it never comes. I can make up one, but that makes me a liar. Okay, did you guys follow that? All right, so I'm just going to kind of reemphasize the points. So to make believe all day. So what's the difference between make believing and a psychic experience? I want to be honest. I don't want to be a liar. So when I ask a question, I'm not getting an answer. I could make up an answer, but then that wouldn't be honest. So there's this thing called Claircognizance, which is a knowing, okay? All right. Boy, I have so many things I want to say to this, okay? I want to talk about Claircognizance. I want to talk about inspiration and a knowing inside yourself of what the truth is. Because when you have to bridge between I'm making things up and I'm psychic, that's ego 3D into 5D awareness. Because anybody who's going on the psychic development journey is going to run into this massive brick wall, is trusting in the process, trusting in what you're receiving. The more that you do this, you're going to alter the frequencies inside yourself until you know. And you can ask questions too. So even for me at my level, which I'm going to go to a beginner's level, okay? But at my level now, when I'm shown things, I say, okay, well, I see this, I'm feeling this, but what does this mean? And then I wait. I wait for them to either show me another picture or send me another feeling, or they'll say nothing. So I have to accept that. And then I just move on to the next thing, okay? So I just go with what comes. If I go with what comes, I'm never a liar. I'm sharing exactly what I'm experiencing as best as I can comprehend it. This is what the picture looks like to me. This is what it means to me. It feels like this. It reminds me of this time in my life. I'm going to ask questions that I think that you would want to ask yourself. And that way we can see if we can find an answer to learn more about this. But all I can share is what comes, all right? So I'm at a level where I'm really tuning into frequencies and I'm able to really discern between a lot of different pieces of information. So when you're at a beginner's level, how do you know that what you're make-believing, how do you know if is it just part of your mind or is it a psychic thing, okay? All right, so I go into two different versions. I mean, I guess I could downsize it to two different versions of a psychic experience. I go into what I define as a fantasy. So I can walk into a fantasy. This is a psychic experience because it's an interdimensional space. It's a real space. It's a manifesting space. So what you would define as make-believe is actually a space of manifestation. It's a thought space. It's a fantasy space. You can walk into it, interact with it. It's going to feel like you're just playing pretend. This is real. This is actually real. They want you to grow out of being a kid and working with your creativity so that you become confused. Don't have a clue what it is to be psychic because you're too wrapped up in ego and the mind and the logic, which keeps you in a 3D human reality and experience, okay? There's nothing wrong with 3D world. It's just what you want to experience. If you want to grow beyond it, then you're going to have to figure out how to break down your ego. All right, so I go into a fantasy. All right, let's say I want to daydream about everybody wants to manifest abundance, okay? So I'm going to walk into a space and I like to experience it as water, okay? So is it money? Is it people? Is it opportunity? If you don't put a label on it and just call it flow and receiving, I can stand under the waterfall of receiving and I can be safe in receiving love. So I'm in a daydream and a make-believe place, but it's not. It's a real space of manifestation. It's a real spirit realm space. So I go there and I connect with what I see. I'm experiencing water flowing down upon me. I see a waterfall. I see myself in that waterfall. So now I'm an observer self, watching myself while I'm simultaneously feeling the water coming down upon me, while I'm simultaneously feeling what it feels like to receive love flowing into my life. All this stuff is happening all at one time. This is a psychic experience. This is real. You're not making that up. That's real. All right, so that's one version where you have an intention, you go into it, and then you participate in the experience, okay? That's real. That's a real psychic thing. It really opens your third eye the more details you choose to describe, the feelings you get, the visual images you get, the memories, the love that comes through. You can choose to see a person standing there. Choose to see it. That's not being psychic, right? No, it is. Because there's loads of people standing there watching you. There's always people standing there watching you. It's an infinite universe full of infinite numbers of souls watching you. So you're going to just intuitively pick out one, okay? So now you're experiencing somebody standing there. Because there is somebody standing there. There always is. So just let him become an energy form, like a body. You don't have to have a face or anything. And now allow yourself to feel the water flowing down upon you and the love. And choose to see. Just look at the blob. Look at the smudge. Look at the energy body. And welcome them to come closer to you. Welcome them to enjoy the water, to receive the love with you. See what happens. You need to talk out loud, because I'm telling you, I get lost in these journeys. This is a journey, all right? This fantasy place, it's a real place. You interact with the spirit realm in this place. It's a real place, all right? You're creating it by choice, but you're learning from it by choice, and you're receiving information from it. All right, we're still on the one version of the psychic experience. So speaking out loud will help you to stay with it, not to get lost in all the images and things that are coming forward. You could fall asleep very easily because it's going to start to kind of mimic a dream place. So speak. So you could say something like, okay, please enjoy the waterfall with me. And don't have to say, who are you? And then expect, I'm Bob, feel first. Feel out the purpose. Thank you for being here with me. What do you mean to me? You remind me of a teacher from 7th grade that helped me with science and made me feel proud of myself. Or you remind me of my grandmother. Or you remind me of that person I always see at the farmer's market with the great watermelons. You wait for a feeling to come to you. This isn't making it up. You really do feel that way. I really do feel like you remind me of this person. Does that mean it is that person? Or they're just emanating that meaning to help you understand the message that they're sharing with you? You have to keep going through, what does this person mean to me? What does that mean to me? What do the watermelons mean to me? Or what does a science teacher mean to me? Touch this person in your fantasy world in the heart. See what comes to you. Does it make you feel gross inside? Does it make you feel sad inside? Does it take you to a pirate ship from a long time ago and you're eating an apple? I mean, anything can come to you. Just continue to go with it. And if it's only 3 minutes of an experience or 10 minutes or whatever, don't worry about it. That's perfect. That's exactly correct. That's amazing. All right, so that's one psychic space. It's a manifestation space. You get to interact with it and learn from it at the same time. And you're working with what you do know that you are picking up on in this place. Now, the other one is where you are letting the images come to you. Start with an intention. All right, I want to heal my dog. All right, so what do I do next? Okay, well, you spoke the intention. What do you feel now? Like, what images come to you? I keep seeing the color yellow. Okay, well, don't stop there. Just continue to look at it And this is you processing the meaning of what yellow has to say to you. So don't rush this thing. Give it 60 seconds. Say, okay, the next thing that's coming to me is my dog is saying, I love you. Am I just making this stuff up, or is this real? Yeah, it's real. You're tuning into something that is extrasensory. The more that you do this, the more obvious it's going to become the difference between being human in the mind and the psychic place, okay? The energy space. So practice. So either you go into a space that you pre-create and let things come to you, or you create experiences that you could learn from, or you just make an intention and allow the information to come to you. But you have to work through what comes as best as you understand it. Even if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, it's a blur or it's a blob, you got to work with what the best that you can translate that image. It looks like a round blobbish thing. It's like a grayish color. Just continue to look at it and wait. Take your energy and stick it inside of there. See what it does. Oh, I'm thinking about when I was 12 and I was praying to God at night. See, this is how they connect the dots. One thing to another thing to another thing to another thing. This is you journeying into an energy realm and a psychic experience. So this is going to help you. Especially if you're good at make-believe, you're going to be totally good at being psychic. Because it's not make-believe. We were told that we are kids and we pretend and our invisible friends aren't real. And that make-believe is hocus pocus. That we need to get logical. We need to get in the mind. We need to work with ego. That is so far from the truth. That is taking us away from an infinitely creative spiritual universe. Everything about the spiritual universe is ridiculously creative. What is make-believe? Creativity. It's when you tune into what's coming forward and just allowing it to manifest without putting in all the things in place, okay? I want to feel the abundance. All right, I'm feeling water. Well, I know what water feels like. All right, I see myself standing under a waterfall. Okay, well, what does your waterfall look like? I guarantee it's going to look different to you than it would look for 1,000 other people. Their waterfalls are all going to look different. So why don't we have the exact same waterfall? It has to be your unique experience that is going to teach you about yourself. Manifest that person who was there the whole time. You just didn't realize it. This is tuning into your heart and tuning into truth and allowing truth then to manifest more information. It's you learning about yourself, learning about your higher self, your guides, your life. It's doing it with love. It's continuing to work with it and allowing it to be as it is without being judgmental of it. That's ego. That's saying my energy space, my make-believe place isn't good enough. Change it from make-believe to a manifesting world. It's a manifesting world. Okay? Now the next thing is when the energies come to you. That's the energy speaking to you. You already know the answers inside your soul. Your soul knows all the answers. Every single bajillion answer in an infinite universe, your soul knows it. But all you can work with is as best as you know as a human being. Your soul can't tell you something that you're not going to understand. So you got to work with what you already know. You know these colors of the rainbow. You know these mathematical equations. You know this stuff. So it's going to feel like you're just making up because it's based on stuff you already know. How are they going to talk to you about something you couldn't possibly comprehend and you're a beginner psychic? It's like telling a kid a calculus equation and expecting the kid to know it. You got to build up to that level, you know? So you got to start somewhere. The basic stuff. But this is real. The more you tap into it, especially if you speak out loud and record your voice and listen to yourself later, you're going to know the difference between what is human experience and what is beyond human experience, okay? All right, so that should help, okay? Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this message. Hope it helps you guys out. If any of you are interested in exploring a psychic session with me, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I'm also on Patreon. I'm doing live webinars out there. So if you're interested in joining Patreon and participating, I'll put a link in the description. Have a great day, everybody.